Hey YouTube, it's me, Protogenius, back with another fun paper airplane tutorial. This is another F-18 that I've made. I know a lot of people were asking me about my other F-18. They said it didn't look quite as accurate as they'd like, and I'll admit that was my simplified version of it. This is my more complicated version, and so it's got a really good look to it. The tail rudders are in the right place. It's got more of the right shape to it, and it's got a swept wing area back here to meet up with the main wing. So it shouldn't take very much to make it. There's a few interesting folds, but I'm sure you'll all get it. So here we go. First off, we're going to take a regular sheet of copy paper and we're going to fold that in half the long way. Okay, and now we're going to open that up and make the X folded. We do in a lot of my paper airplane tutorials. Just fold in from this corner, go all the way out to the point. Okay, now open it up and fold it back the other direction, all the way out into the corner. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to open that up, we're going to crease in our sides right here, and then flatten it out, just like that, right up into the point, right there. Good. Now we're going to flatten that out so this line and this line match up with each other. And we have our house shape now. It's just a regular house shape. And we're going to take and we're going to open that up on the bottom now. And do the same thing on the top. We're going to flatten that out on the table. Alright, now what we're going to do is we are going to take and fold from this point back, and we're going to come back about a quarter of an inch from the tip of this area of the paper. Just come back a quarter of an inch to make our line, like that. Okay. So, from our point, back a quarter of an inch, right there. And the reason why we come back a quarter of an inch is so it looks right on our tail rudder when we get to that point. You'll see. Alright, so we got that now. Let's flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Just get a good mirror fold, make sure that it matches, because it'll look weird if you don't. Okay. So you're going to take that back. Now what we're going to do is, you can see our line right here. We're going to take and fold back to that point, or to that line. Just like that. We're going to flip it over, do the same thing on the other side. Fold back to that line, all the way up into the tip. Alright. And now what we're going to do is we're going to open that up on both sides, flatten it back out again, and we're going to fold from this point, and we're going to come back about 2 inches from the tip. So 1, 2, about right there. We're going to make a line. That's going to be our point. We're going to fold right from that point into that corner, just a straight line. Just like that. Right back into that point. Try not to tear this area right here if you can. Alright, we're going to flip that over, get a good mirror fold of the same thing. Match it up with our wing underneath. And there's our mirror fold right there. That should match up on the top. And it does. Very good. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take, and you can see we have a line right here on our wing, that line. And we're going to reverse fold that the other direction. Kind of crease it in. And what you're going to do is you're going to get it up, it's going to go up to a point right here, and it's going to kind of stop right there. And you can see the paper is kind of opened up now. So what we're going to do is we're going to just crease that up as far as it'll let it go right there, and then take it and push back down the front of that. And now what's going to happen is if you've creased it correctly, it's going to make this and this match up with each other. So they should be right parallel with each other now. See? Just like that. And what we're going to do now is we're going to flip that over and do the exact same thing on the other side. So take that, reverse fold our line right here, back, push it up into the middle, put your finger there, push it back flat right there, crease it flat. Now the top should match up pretty good. If it doesn't, then you might need to adjust it just a little bit on one side or the other. And that happens. So just kind of watch how the top turns out right here. Make it match up good. Good. Okay. Now we're going to take that and we're going to fold that back to where it matches up with the other side. Okay. So now this is what it should look like at this point. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come from this point right here, we're going to fold back about an inch. Just kind of put your thumb at the inch mark right there. And I'll show you what to do. Okay, you put your thumb back about an inch right here. And then you're going to fold, you're going to kind of get inside of it and crease it right to that point. And fold this back, kind of open it up like that. Now you got a little point right here where the line comes right here, and right here they kind of meet up with our fold underneath it. Make that match up with this line right here, right there. Good. And so now it should, if you hold it in the right spot there, you should just be able to crease it right down there. It should be back about an inch right here at the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that and we're going to push this back up a bit to where this line right here is perpendicular with this line, or it's at a right angle from it. And so just make sure that comes right back into the crease, or right back into this point right here, all the way up. Our perpendicular line right there. And then just crease everything down right there. Now it should have kind of a zigzag shape, just like that from the top. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to flip that over again, do the exact same thing, just go right off of the bottom as a reference for our mirror fold on this. And so you can see where it's at, kind of put our thumb right above that, get it in the right spot, right there, and then open that up just like that. Get your finger inside there and open it up to where it matches. You got that right there. Now you lift it up to the top right there. So you can see at the top right there, and you're going to crease it at the top, just like that. All the way back so that it matches with the other piece at the bottom. And you can see that our point comes right to that line right there. Good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lay this down on the table again, and we're going to mirror that so that it matches up with the rudder underneath it right there. Okay? Alright, now you should just be able to flatten it out, and those should match up really well right there. Now, this is the only paper airplane, the only fighter like this that I have that I actually do a cut on. My helicopter, I do a couple cuts, but in order to make this look, make it look better, I actually cut back here. And what we're going to do is we're going to just take our scissors, and we're going to kind of open it up a bit, and you can see there's this line right down the middle. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut it back until it matches up with this line right here. So just kind of cut it about that far. So get inside of this right now, between the paper there, push it down inside. We're going to cut that. Alright, so now it should be split on the back end right there. Okay, what we're going to do now is there's a line right here, and we're going to fold this back on that. Just like that. Make sure it goes up into the corner real well. Folds right along that line. Right there. We're going to flip it over and do the exact same thing on the other side. Just fold it right against that line. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to we're going to open up, or kind of push those back out and open up the back end of this right here. Push that down inside, right there, just on one side there. You can go one, you're going to open it up first and then pull the other one back and then push that down inside there. Okay. Now our tail end is mostly done now, so what we're going to do is we've got this line right here. We're just going to kind of fold that along there, fold this up so that it matches that line right there. I'm going to flip that over and do the same thing on the other side, make it match that line. Just like that. Good. Alright. Now, it should look like this on the tail end, so the rudder stick out, just like an F-18 does. We're going to leave that kind of creased up like that for now. And we're going to work on the main body, the main part of the wing. So what we're going to do is, you can see this line right here, and this line, and what we're going to do is we're going to make those match up with each other. Just kind of fold right on top of that. Just like that. So when you fold it back, it should look like this. And we're going to flip that over and do the same thing on the other side. Very good. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to, you can see this line right here, and what we're going to do is we're going to kind of keep that wing flat and fold this to where we can see that right there. If you want to fold this line and this line together, that actually works probably better, so just do that. But you need to be able to see underneath that, or see between those two lines. Alright, just like that. You need to fold these down to get them out of the way a little bit. That's fine at this point. So yeah, just kind of crease it like that. So now you should be able to see a gap between the two of those. If there isn't a gap there, like if it pulls back a little bit, that's okay. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to flip that over, do the same thing on the other side. Just make this line match up with this line. Really good right there. Okay. Now what we're going to do, this is going to get a little tricky right here, but just hold on and hang in there with me and you'll get it. So what we're going to do is you're going to take that, fan that back out again, or flatten that out, and you're going to come up about 3/4 of an inch from this point up. From right here, 3/4 of an inch up, and you're going to come back about 1.5 inches from the tip, 1.5, right there. You're going to crease that. Just like that. Let's make a line. You'll notice it's not parallel, it's just a little bit, it's an acute angle. Just like that. And you're going to flip it over. Get a good mirror fold of that. Make sure your wings match up with each other down here. So, very good. Alright, now what we're going to do is, you have this line here still from our fold before, and we're going to fold that back on itself right there. That's why it's good to fold it along that same line. Make sure you get a really defined point right here. It's very crucial. You need to make sure that there is a good line creased right up into that point. Just like that. I'm going to flip it over to the exact same thing on the other side. So take it, fold that down on that same line that we made. Make sure there's a really good pronounced crease right there to that point. Alright. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make a line from that point to the tip of the wing here. You're going to flatten that out, kind of get your finger up underneath there, keep your other finger on that line, make a nice crease all the way back to the tip of the wing. And don't worry about the top of this yet, it's just going to kind of flop around there for a second. So once you get that line there, it should be good and solid. Just take and push back from this point and crease this down right there. Should look like that. Let's do that on the other side now. Okay, open that up. Put your finger right there. Use your pointer finger. Get that line good and defined there. Crease it back. to the tip of the wing. Alright, just like that. Now take and push it back from the front, crease it down. That should be a pretty good mirror right there. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take the whole airplane and we are going to flatten this out. So kind of open it up from the bottom, just like that, and flatten it out on our table, just like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fold it all back. Again, try to keep this as flat as possible from the tip back. Don't let it round right here too much. I mean, it will a little bit, but don't let it do too much. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come back from the tip about an inch to an inch and a half from here to here on this line. We're going to fold right back into the point where it matches up in the middle right here. So right there, and that we're going to just kind of fold that over, just like that. So you should be able to see that right there. About an inch to an inch and a half. An inch and a quarter should do a good job. So if you kind of go right in the middle, it should work. But it depends on how steep you want your wings to fold back. Now, do this, flip it over, do the exact same thing on the other side. Just make sure it matches up real well. Right there at the front. And our mirror folds good. And crease it back. Now what we're going to do, if it sticks up a little bit right here, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. You just open this up and crease that down inside of there. Just like that. Fold the wing up inside. So I'll take that, open this up, push it down underneath there. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take and just fold back the wing on this line right here. Right there. Good. Just like that. Flip it over, do the same thing on the other side. Now you're going to start to see that fighter jet look to it. So try to make it match up underneath, kind of make a good V shape underneath there, make the lines so that they match. And we're almost done with our F-18. Now if you notice, the top is really awfully flat up here, or awfully fat up there. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to open that up just kind of like that. Don't open it too much because you will tear it. And careful back here not to tear this area. What we're going to do is we're going to fold the side in, this to meet up in the middle. So be real careful with that. It's going to be a little bit thick there, so just be patient with it and try not to tear it. Push it right back into the middle at the back end and up at the front end there. Try to make a good straight line. Just like that. Alright. Now we're going to do that on the other side. Take it, fold it over into the middle. This is when you got to be patient with, otherwise you might tear the back end on it and it'll screw it up just a little bit. So you don't want to do that if you can help it. Okay, and on the back end, just kind of push these in. Take the fold this little side piece right here underneath. Just kind of fold that with it. See, I tore it a little bit there too myself. So, all right. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn that and push that down the middle. Kind of crease it together. Just like that, and we're almost done. We just got to fold the tips in of the wings and we'll be done with our F-18. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come back from the tip on each side about half an inch. Gonna fold that, and there's a line right here. Just kind of fold the tip back to where it meets up on that line right there. Yeah, just fold that tip back to where it matches up on that line. Anywhere between, depending on how big you want the tip to come in right here, you can fold that in anywhere from a half an inch to even an inch if you want, depending on how big you want your wing to be. Do that on both sides. 1/2 inch. Got to match up right there on that tip. The tip right on the line there. And what you're going to do is you're going to fold that back, and open up the wing a bit right here, and fold it back in on that same line that we just made. And then what we're going to do at that point is we're going to just kind of fold it back over on the same line that it had right there. Try to keep that line there. Keep it where it matches up with that same line that we folded the tip to. See, now it should be right underneath it. You barely see the tip. Do the same thing on the other side. Take it, fold it back, open it up, push that down and inside, and fold it back down. Try to keep that tip underneath it right there. Good. And we are done with our F-18 Super Hornet. You push it up in the middle right there. Now these do fly, and they fly really well. If you want, kind of push these parts of the wing up here on top so that it helps it to fly a little bit better. You can leave them on the bottom if you want, but just kind of push it up like that. Anyway, have it on top right there. These fly really well. You might have to hold it a certain way because if you notice, there's nowhere to hold on to it on the bottom of the airplane down here. So what I do is I get my finger right here on it, and then I put a finger on each side of the front of it when I throw this one. And it tends to fly really well. So, and it looks good, and your friends will wonder how in the world you did it. So, hey YouTube, it's me, Proto-Genius. Thanks for watching my videos. Today on the right we have my F-14 Tomcat paper airplane tutorial, and to the left we have my Stealth Blackbird tutorial. Now remember, these paper airplanes are all airplanes that I've come up with on my own, so I'm not getting these from a book, and so I love making new ones all the time. So if you have any kind of paper airplane that you would like me to make, go ahead and comment on my videos or send me an email, and I will see what I can do about making one for you. So yeah, feel free to do that, and I look forward to teaching you some more great paper airplanes. Thanks.